Enlisted's developers have just released an absolute Big Mac of an update. There are so many things here, with some that completely change the meta of the entire game. And these are just a fraction of every major update that's coming very, very soon. And as for this amazingly detailed update's name, it's gotta be something catchy, right? Well, it's Update 0.4.2.18. Less catchy than I hoped, but I'm still optimistic. Now let's begin with the most game-changing stuff here. The reduced dispersion on so many machine guns. This was absolutely vital to make machine guns actually worth using in-game. A few weeks ago, I actually had a video researched using in-game statistics and scripted on making an update list of the top 20 weapons in the entire game, similar to what I did in the past, which you can also check out, divided by weapon class. But this time, the plan was to merge them all together. In that list, originally, no machine guns made my top 20. None at all. Because there is statistically no upside to using one over any fully automatic rifle or one of the amazing assault weapons. That being said, I was advised not to release it because of this update right here. That would change a ton of my order. And honestly, it might just have done so. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that updated video. But machine guns' dispersion was almost always the deciding factor that put these class of weapons below any other. Machine guns suffered from it so badly compared to assault weapons and rifles. You could point blank miss so many enemies and it would absolutely infuriate me. In case you don't know, shot dispersion is a hidden mechanic in Enlisted, not shown on in-game weapon statistics. That is a number between 0 and 1, explaining the chance and displacement of a bullet moving away from its intended target, as in down the sights of your weapon. And what I should say now though, is that I am indeed a big fan of shot dispersion. I think it's actually a good mechanic to help balance weapons. On the contrary to other content creators out there who seem to want every weapon to be a laser for whatever reason. I am glad that dispersion so far isn't being adjusted on any other weapon class. But gladly now, in many cases, MGs are slightly more on par with assault weapons, as most, not all MGs were the only class with a big dispersion issue. You can read the full list here. I'm not going to regurgitate information thrown out at you, but the key things here to notice are that the belt-fed DP, what I regarded as the best machine gun in the entire game, has a huge 22% shot dispersion reduction. The MG34 with Patron and Trommel mag sees a 27% reduction, same for the M13 with drum mag, the mighty Browning A2 with -14%, and even the Fedorov MG sees an almost 10% reduction. These are absolutely massive changes. In the next few weeks, we could see huge meta shifts in the entire game as a result of this, and I'm also quite a fan of it. The more weapons in-game that are viable and can be labelled world-class, the more variety of weapons we will see in-game, and that excites me, and I hope it excites all of you too, because it should. But the best rifles in the entire game for the Germans and Americans have also been buffed. This makes so little sense to me. They recently buffed these weapons amongst others in terms of base ammo size, now also shot dispersion, and they're also getting an aim down sight speed buff, reflected in the hidden statistic in-game called the ADS speed multiplier. By the way, this document is a public resource of all things Enlisted by Volt, link in the description. The point is though, why do they feel the need to improve the best weapons in the entire game, to make them even more OP? I don't understand what they're really trying to achieve here, unless it is to undo the weapon variety benefits I was just talking about with the machine gun changes. Because if you keep buffing these rifles, as they are being so, then why would you ever not use these weapons in favour of something worse? The only possible slight explanation I can think of is to help it match the Soviet equivalent of these rifles, the AVT-40, which already has only 0.26 shot dispersion. But by the way, if you want to ask any of the amazing helpers like James Grove, Volt, Movmav and Lucky any questions you have about the game or updates as they are released, then a link to join our Discord and the discussion is in the pinned comments down below. They are incredibly helpful, and official points of contact for the game as well, so we're delighted to have them. But as for the other updates, we'll go through just the key ones you need to be aware of, as you can read all of this in your own time if you care about all the small ones. And even if they are small changes, they are still good changes, and you don't need me to regurgitate them for you. For starters, HMGs and their sandbags are finally less sturdy than actual brick walls, and any normal weapon can actually destroy it if shot enough. That's a relief to literally every infantry player, literally everywhere. What everyone seems to be talking about though is the nerf to white phosphorus, where the toxic cloud's duration has been halved. At first look, it might sound good, especially because I'm one of those that hates this thing and thinks it's ridiculously OP, but the reason it's OP is because you can spam it. If someone threw just one of these, it really doesn't matter, regardless of whether it lasts 15 or 8 seconds. And this change has not reduced the ability to spam white phosphorus grenades. Therefore, I actually don't think this is a particularly good change, as it does not actually address the issue players are actually complaining about. It addresses something slightly different. You can still cover a massive expanse of space with 3 white phosphorus grenades on every soldier in a 9-man squad. Thanks, large grenade pouch, meaning you can put 27 Willy Pete's on a point in one squad life. That though is still ridiculous. And if experienced players acknowledge this change, they can spam 4 or 5 of them, then wait 8 seconds, then spam 5 more. My prediction is that this change will have virtually no effect, and will require a further nerf, particularly on restricting how widely available it is for multiple soldiers and multiple grenades in the same squad. Therefore, unlike other CCs, I don't think it's very good. There are some pretty dang good quality of life changes though in this dev blog, including for the weapons menu here to help you know which weapons can be used by whom, new drip for grenade pouches, and they've also made the recoil the same on the STG sniper and standard variants, which always puzzled me why they were different to begin with, and they've still got to do the same with a few others that I hope they haven't forgotten about. Oh, and they tried to sneak in at the end of this same line that the recoil of this, another top tier weapon, has been reduced and made easier to predict and hence counter. Honestly, can't really understand why they would improve it for the same reasons they highlighted earlier, but hey, what do I know at this point, honestly, what do I know?
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
The Yak aircraft has had a major issue on it fixed, which is good to see, alongside the changes of priority for console players. Now normally I wouldn't read much into console control adjustments, but considering over on my Twitch streams you can now make me play with a controller and make me experience pure pain, it now matters a little more. Priority changes purely mean what is done first if you're trying to do both at the same time, and it all looks very good to me. The new talked about wind system has been added as well, but it's basically been confirmed that it does not affect shot dispersion, bullet velocity, or aircraft friction. So basically, it has no gameplay effects. Yet. A few different missions have been added to spice up the existing map pool, which is always nice, though I am so glad I don't see any Kahif K Village maps added, because after seeing my Discord mod Necrolord go through a 5.5-hour match on this map, it's put me off forever touching the Tunisia campaign. Dear God, man, this must have been absolute hell. One interesting little thing here though, is the fixed bugs with combat zones bullet points, which actually means they've added more cover to very open objective points to help both sides maneuver easily, which is honestly great to see the devs considering gameplay mechanics of maps and not just the aesthetics. I hope we see more of this on other maps that need it. I'm looking at you again, Tunisia. I'm picking on Lil Bro a bit too much. In the replay section, still no mention of a live spectator mode for custom games, which could be used to live stream competitive enlisted tournaments. Darkflow, I'm still waiting. The AI soldier improvement section though is absolutely massive. A double quarter pounder with cheese, if you're using the McDonald's metaphors again. I cannot express how excited I am for the first bullet point, because my lord, are AI oblivious and love to get themselves glitched inside your own built structures. The issues with fire also happened to me on stream recently. They literally couldn't realise that they needed to get out from the fire before extinguishing themselves, otherwise they just keep setting themselves on fire again. It was painful to watch. I genuinely felt bad for them. The point is though, I'm glad they're fixed. But another very interesting change at the end here. All AI can destroy structures now, not just engineers. Honestly, this will probably be one of the most underappreciated parts of this update. I'm telling you now. The possibilities with this little change are endless. One other thing people cannot stop talking about in our Discord server is the ability to see soldier class your teammates and enemies are using during the game, which is really interesting. I disagree that you should be able able to see the enemies as active classes though. That seems like it's giving away a bit too much tactical information for my liking. This feature also meant that, despite it not being mentioned in this dev blog, that the military ranks will not be visible during the game, replaced with the troop class being used. You can still see the ranks and nickname decorators before the battle starts and after it ends, however. There are many pros and cons to this, especially in the category of preventing people from leaving games early, which I am a big fan of. This section also has some other very underappreciated stuff, like the double-click feature to respawn, upgradability of multiple weapons at the same time, but also the ability to finally sell my hundreds of spare knives is terrific, although when you see you only get one bronze order for every 10, it kind of ruins the magic a little bit. But it's almost sad removing these for me, as having so many knives reminds me of home. And lastly is the whole host of amazing bug fixes. And now you can also do a bunch of other things whilst planting a bomb in the destruction game mode. Who said men can't multitask? Fixed a bug that caused the kill log to show the player as a killer, even though he was not. Do you think this devlog will work in court? Asking for a friend. And this one is the bane of every single streamer's lives. People constantly deciding to spam ping invite me, even if I'm in a game. That noise that kept playing is dead to me. For some reason, not even mentioned on this list, there are a whole range of upgrades to weapon graphics, echoing sounds inside of buildings, notifications when your friend goes online, and not to mention the fact that they've removed the automatic throwing of grenades when you cook them until the last second. Now, they just kill you. I learned this the hard way. This massive list of changes are amazing to see for Enlisted. I'm so hyped for the future of this game, so you must be as well. Let me know down below what you think of these changes and give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Special thanks to Vendertrex, Narfalex and Akolo QE, but now that you know these smaller updates, then you should probably educate yourself on the bigger updates coming soon to Enlisted, which I covered in this video. They're coming soon to a Gaijin Entertainment launcher near you.